Welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's video, this is going to be the review of the Fairy Tarot cards. It is a Hay House deck. You do get it in the standard box, hard-covered box. It is by Radleigh Valentine. He is known as the Angel Whisperer. They are obviously relatable to a tarot card. So you've got the 78 tarot cards. He wanted to create a fairy deck to be a lot softer, you know. So we've got the 78 cards, we've got the major arcana, we've got the 22 cards that are about the major events, and then we've also got the minor arcana. Now, you know, they've done this a few times with a few of the decks. They have renamed the minor arcana. They have used the seasons instead of cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. So it is a nice deck. There is a few changes with the cards. You know, they've got rid of a few of the harsher words, as they call it, you know, but we will go through the deck. In the booklet itself, you know, it is a standard booklet with Hay House. I love all their booklets. I feel like they're very well bounded. You know, it's not going to fall apart. You're not going to lose any pages here. I have noticed with Hay House, with the decks, they are removing a lot of with a lot of current decks, they haven't got the picture of the card, but in this deck they've got the picture of the card, the meaning of the card, plus the additional meanings, which is very helpful. The deck also does, it is easy to utilize. It has got everything numbered, it is in order, so you can quickly flick and find the card, which is very helpful. It does discuss clearing the deck, how to prepare your cards, how to ask a question, how to shuffle the deck, how to choose a card, and different types of readings, so you can see that there. So it is quite useful, you know, if you're new to tarot. It's a beautiful way to introduce yourself. I really do like this deck simply because of the amount of information you're given about the card. It really helps you to digest what the card meaning is and really helps you to put it together. So let's read the reverse of the box. The box itself, you don't get this very often. You have an example of the pictures. I've got a local bookstore. Prior to COVID, they actually used to have a few examples of the decks and you were able to open them up. So it says here, the fairies are nature angels who assist us all with earthly concerns, including increasing our self-confidence and belief in our ability to make a positive difference in this world. These 78 gorgeous cards in this deck are geared toward helping you wear your invisible crown and fulfill your life purpose. Radleigh Valentine calls Fairy Tarot cards the self-esteem deck because the words and images are imbued with this intention. Inside you'll meet fairies, kings, queens, princesses and princesses, set against the backdrop of iconic Glastonbury, England. The wisdom of the fairies inscribed on each card and explained in the accompanying guidebook will help you put your life on the fast track of divine magic. Fairy Tarot cards makes a perfect companion in the best-selling Angel Tarot cards. In fact, you can mix the two decks together for even more accurate and detailed information. It has got the price here on the back. It's probably a little bit cheaper now because this deck has been around a bit, so you can probably get it on sales. Definitely always buy from a reputable buyer so you don't get a fake deck. It says here it's US $24.99 and Canada $33.99. So you've got the thumbnails here to help you open up the deck. I've actually taken the cards out for ease of giving you a rundown of it. So let's get started. Let's look at this deck in full and let me know what you think about it. So we have the Dreamer there, which is known as to be the Fool. So you see this, and it's a woman actually instead of a man. You see a woman here with the dog, the messenger on the way to the castle. So walking away. The Magician itself, I was struggling. This popped up in a reading the other day. I was struggling with this reading, but then it actually came with the message of you can do it, which was really, really positive. I really loved the way that came through. The High Priestess, so hopefully you can see the cards nice and clearly. The Empress there. I'm told to slow down and show the cards clearly, so let me know if these aren't clear enough for you. The Emperor, Unity. Now, this popped up, and I want to give some examples. I feel like this is really helpful for people just starting out or people that are utilizing this deck and just discussing different readings. Now, this card here, Unity, I really got this in a reading, and the man obviously in the reading wasn't being the best, you know, and the message here for this card was, you know, you need to really do the right thing for the right reasons. You know, I really want to sit down with you and really have a good chat with you. You know, you've really got to be honest with yourself. You've got to be honest about your behavior, and everyone has the right to their own opinion. So it's quite interesting because down the bottom here it says, do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see what works for you. A spiritually minded community. But that came through really strong, and you see you've got this elderly man here with this younger boy sort of telling him how it is. So that came through with the reading. Now the Lovers did pop up in a reading. You know, it was a lady who was having issues with her husband here, and it was really a reminder here of look no further, you know, and a reminder here that the relationship was nice and strong, and it was really about you're going to be reconnecting him. And in the reading it did come up like she was saying, oh, I'm so sick of him, you know, as we do with our partners. But it was really about you helped out your partner, now your partner has your back, and you know he's working out and doing what's right for you. So it was a beautiful reading. It really reminded this lady that the gap is within you. There's something within you that you need to heal. It's not your relationship, it's about your boredom here. You know, what skills are you lacking? What is it, your work? So it was a really nice reading. You know, it really put her on the path of the right track, knowing that her marriage wasn't a disaster. The Chariot, I always think of somebody successful, returning from war. Justice. The Hermit. The Wheel. Now the Wheel came up also in a recent reading. It says here, delays are over, sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. But when I pulled this card, it was really about three's a crowd. You know, it was really about sometimes rules are meant to be broken and just to be more flexible. So it was just a reminder here of the person that I was reading about, you know, like, I guess step outside of the square that you're in, you know, like, because this wheel that you're on, you keep going around and around and around, a bit like Groundhog Day. Strength, awakening, release, balance, ego, which is known also as the Devil card, life experience, I think is the Tower card, the Star, I always call this the Faith card, the Moon, the Sun, another interesting one that popped up in a reading recently. The Sun was just a reminder, you know, it was in the reading, it was about, you know, things can't get any better, and it's positive, and it's really about you've been working really, really hard and you deserve what you have. So really, really, you know, enjoy it. Renewal came up in a mediumship reading. You know, it was an old guy who came through in spirit, and it was just a reminder here that family was really important for him. He loved his family. He loved being surrounded by his family. He loved being surrounded by his community. You know, it was just beautiful. And also too, as a reminder here that he always followed through with what he said. And the World. So that's the major. So let's look at the minor arcanas now. So we've got the Ace of Spring. Oh, these aren't in order. Thought they were. Two of Spring. Don't you love this? It's like live TV. Three of Springs also come up in a recent reading. You know, this is all about patience and progressing one brick at a time. You know, things are going to be okay. You know, just be very patient. But it's also too about if you've got a scratch, itch it. So if there was a situation or something that pops up that you really want to do it, don't back down. You know, jump in and do it. Three. The Four of Spring, and as you can see, the wording here is really clearly, it gives you a bit of a synopsis or a cheat sheet, I call it, down the bottom here for the card. So it really does make it easy, especially if you're looking at this and reading it. It can prompt you to be reminded about what's in the book. I always read the cards with the book. I feel like that's really helpful. That's why I always really love a good guidebook. Now the Four of Spring also did pop up in a reading. And the Four of Spring, the way this popped up here was, it was about her brother. And I said, oh gosh, your brother, he's got a lot to learn, you know. He will learn one day. He doesn't know when to give up. And, you know, it's just one thing after another and after another. So it was really about her relationship with her brother and how difficult he is at the moment. For Five of Spring, 6, Seven of Spring, are we going to get through them all? Oh, that's beautiful. 8 of Spring, 9. I hope you enjoy me recording it this way, a lot clearer. 10, Prince, Princess, Queen, and King. They've obviously got different coloured borders as we move along to each one. The card quality stock is glossy. There's the reverse of the card. This is also on the deck itself, the box. The deck it is pretty hardy. You know, I don't have any issues with the Hay House, with the printing or the quality of the deck, especially when you're paying, you know, you're not paying hundreds of dollars for these decks. The gilding, there is no gilding. I know earlier with this deck there was gilding. I'm fine with decks not having gilding. That's fine for me. I know a lot of people choose to really have gilding, but for me, I'm fine with the gilding. They are very, very, they've got the rounded edges there. Very, very easy to shuffle, and I think it's because that they are of that glossy. So let's look at autumn now. Autumn is the green. Hopefully these are in order. Ace of autumn, 2 of autumn, 3 of autumn, follow your passion, 4 of autumn, 5 of autumn, 6 of autumn. I love getting this one. 7 of autumn, 8 of autumn, look at her, 9 and 10. I do remember this one. In this reading that I did, I heard the song It's Only Just Begun. So it was really, really positive. So it was about working towards something, something's building. And, you know, like it was really also too about you give advice to people, but you're not practicing what you preach. So that's what came up intuitively of the reading. Down the bottom, it says, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honouring family traditions. Princess of Autumn, Prince of Autumn, Queen of Autumn, King of Autumn. Oh, look at his face there. And then we've got the summer cards, which are like I want to say ocean blue border. So we've got the Ace of Summer. This also came up. It was quite a cute reading. It was a quick reading during the live, and it was about this lady who just broke up. And I said, oh my goodness, it is raining men around you, you know. And she goes, oh my goodness, I've just broken up with somebody. I really needed to hear this. So it was just showing her that, you know, there will be other options to other people. And it says here, open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. But it was definitely about her finding other people, and there'll be lots and lots of different suitors, and she really needed to hear that message. 2 of Summer, 3 of Summer. Let me know. I have set this up differently, so I hope that you can see the cards a lot clearer. 7. Generally, with Radleigh's cards, he does put a lot of rainbows in. Sometimes when I see rainbows in the deck, I normally know that somebody is, you know, gay. It just reminds me of that. I do get that a lot intuitively with cards. 8 of Summer has come up, you know, like in a reading. This was really about putting the best foot forward, you know, going forward. And this person was having issues with their friends, and it was really about you will make new friendships, you know, things are going to get better. So it's a bit like coming out of the dark, going into the bright light there. And it says the desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life challenges. 9 of Summer, 10 of Summer, Princess of Summer. This is beautiful. This is what's on the cover. Prince of Summer here making the wishes. Queen of Summer and King of Summer. And then we have, I want to say navy bordered. This is the winter deck. Ace of Winter, 2 of Winter, 3 of Winter. Really interesting, this one. Reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger from this situation. Sadness that will heal with time. 4 of Winter. 5 of Winter. Walk away from dishonest associations. 6 of Winter. 7 of Winter. You can almost see her dancing here on ice. Now the 8 of Winter. This come up in a reading recently. It was an interesting one because it took the lady a few moments to work out who I was talking about, but I really said, oh gosh, you've got somebody around you that thinks they're better than others, you know. And I didn't know whether it was the lady I was reading or somebody close to her, and it turned out to be her sister-in-law. And I said, oh, you know, she's always looking at others, that she's above them, and you know, I can do that, and being very competitive, and they are very arrogant. Really talked about that she really felt like she was the ant's pants, and this person really needs a reality check. You know, they're very annoying, and you know, you can't be friends with this person. I said to them, you know, like, I'll call you, but they'll never ring you. You know, they always just say that. So, and I just said, there's a situation that you feel like you know what this person's going to do, or what they're going to up to, or what trouble, but it's just really their insecurities coming out, you know. So, and they do things, but it's never from a good place. It's always a bit like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. They always expect something in return. There's always strings attached. So this reading here, I actually read it, and then I pulled out the card that I pulled out with it was interesting because I pulled out the Prince of Summer with it, and it was really about, you know, a challenge you can successfully manage. So it's really about being grounded around this person. Don't allow this person to affect you, you know, really rise up about it. Don't allow them to get under your skin. So it was quite an interesting reading, that one. 9 of Winter, 10 of Winter, Prince of Winter. Oh, look at the face there. Princess of Winter, Queen of Winter, King of Winter. So quite a nice deck. I think it's quite reasonably priced. I'll just put these cards here so they're not going to make so much noise on the table. I do find that, you know, it can be quite difficult to shuffle. You know, you may wish to shuffle overhand, you know, only because they are a hardy deck. You know, they're not flimsy by any means. They're quite thick, and obviously you've got the 78 cards there, which means it's a lot to shuffle. So you may want to take that on board. They do fit in this box quite easily. They're very durable. Great price deck, good value. I would really say if you're looking at starting your journey, you know, or adding to your tarot collection, you're quite new, you'll enjoy this deck. As I said, shall we pull a card and maybe read what's in the guidebook? Because I know for myself, I like to know how thick or what messages I get from the guidebook. So let's do that. This is the renewal. As I said earlier, with this guidebook, it has the pictures. You may find the deck that you purchase doesn't. I think it's ending for obviously maybe price. I'm not too sure, because obviously this would have costed a lot to do the printing there with the card. I actually quite like it with the card because it just reminds me of it. But obviously you pull up the card, and once you get to read and understand the meaning of each card, it sort of comes to you. And it says here in the booklet, it's time for review. Take note of what you have learned in life so far. Where do you want to go next? You're in a moment where you can truly reinvent yourself and build the future you want. However, to successfully arrive at your destination, you'll need a very good nap. Visualize your happiest possible future and start taking the appropriate steps. Feel free to ask a friend to help plan out your journey with you. Pay special attention to flashes of inspiration and original creative ideas. These epiphanies are part of your life purpose and are meant to guide you on your way to joy. Our fairies are joined by Joseph of Arimathea, the original guardian of the Holy Grail in Glastonbury. In his later years, Joseph allowed his beard to grow, and he may remind you of St. Nicholas. Definitely does with the colouring, that's for sure. Holding his list and sitting beneath the holy hawthorn tree, which only blooms at Christmas and Easter. The rabbit and butterfly on the card symbolize springtime to show the metaphorical moment from winter to spring to life. So you may see this and know, if you're asking about a particular time, that if you pull out this card, then you'll obviously know, you know, it's going to be spring, you know. So the additional meanings for this card is an important milestone, seeing things in a whole new light, a call to fulfill your destiny, releasing judgments of yourself and others, and understanding your life purpose. So I hope you like this review of this deck. Please comment below. Let me know if you've got this deck. Let me know if you put it on your shelf, that if it's collecting dust. I'd really like to hear that. And also too, if you'd like any other decks that I'd like to review or open up, I've got a huge collection that I'm hoping to declutter in some way, but it's very hard to get rid of beautiful decks. So let me know. Don't forget to also click like and subscribe so you can join in on the many decks that I'm about to review.